Hi everyone, I'm Hammi. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a budgeting basic for beginners. A few days back I got a comment where I was asked if I could make a video on how to start budgeting if you're a beginner. So I've come up with this video. I hope that's going to help you. First of all, I just want to clear that I am not a financial advisor. So whatever I'll be sharing here today is based on the experiences that I've had. I just want you to take it as a guide as you navigate through the journey of personal finance. So now you've got a job and you are starting to earn your money and you don't know how to start budgeting and you're a bit confused. I understand that because I have been there myself. When you start budgeting, I also want to tell you that it will take a little bit time to set into your budget. You will have to be patient. As the months go by, you will start to get the hang of it. So let us start with it. So the first and the foremost thing what I feel is very important when you start your budgeting journey is to write down your income. You need to know what you are bringing in each month. When I say income, it means your salary or any side income other than your job that you're doing. Any extra income that you bring in, write it down because that is the amount that you will be basing your budget on. If you're somebody who is salaried, who gets a fixed amount every month, then it's going to be a little bit easier to budget because then you know that you will be getting this amount every month. But if you're somebody whose payment varies from month to month, it will be helpful if you could look at the income that you were able to bring in the past 6 months or 8 months or say even 1 year, and then that will give you an idea of the average. And that when you look at that, the lowest income that you have been able to bring in any month, base your budget on that income so that on months when you earn more, you can put that money into your financial goals. Writing down your income is very important because I did not start budgeting for a very long time, only because I thought that I was not making enough money, and I had this belief in my head that what is the point of budgeting when I'm not even making money. I wish I did not do that. I wish I started budgeting earlier. I sat down and wrote down my income. Only then did I realize that I was making more than I thought I was making. Because I was not only getting paid from my job, I was also getting paid for my private practice. I was seeing home visit patients. I had a very small clinical setup. I was bringing in a few thousands. So when I added that private practice income with my salary, I was bringing in more money than I thought I was making. So write down your income for the month and base your budget on that. So this is the first step that you need to do if you're somebody who is starting to budget. And then the second step that I want you to do is to track your expenses. Tracking your expenses will give you a clarity on where your money goes every month. You might also be able to see that there is a pattern of spending that you have. For me, when I look at all my months, I see that I spend a lot of money on gifts. I spend a lot of money on eating out. I also spend a lot of money on personal care. So that helps me decide if I should cut down on certain months where I want to focus more on my goals or where the income is not too much. And also when you track your expenses, you can also see that there will be a few expenses that comes up every month, which you can, when you do your budget, can categorize it into your fixed monthly expenses. And also there will be some expenses that does not come up month to month, and those can be your variable expenses. So now when you know how much you're bringing in, and now you also know that certain categories occur month to month and certain categories do not occur every month, you can use this data to build your budget. Coming to the budget categories, the first thing that I want you to do when you start your budget is to put away some money to your savings. And this should be the first thing that you do. Set aside 10% or 15% of your monthly income into your savings. And your savings category can have these subcategories there, which can be your emergency fund, it can be your investment, and it can be for your retirement as well. For your emergency fund, this money should only be for your emergency. So what can be your emergencies? It can be like you getting sick, or your parents getting sick, or you have a vehicle and it broke down and it needs repairs, something of that kind. So when you have an emergency fund, try not to keep dipping into it. That was a mistake that I did. I used to keep dipping into my emergency fund. Now I don't do that anymore. But save this money. You need emergency fund. If you don't have emergency fund, you will start to take debts. I say that because I've experienced that. If you don't want to have debt, set aside some money for your emergency so that when something happens, you have yourself to fall back on. You have the money here to fall back on. Now the question arises, how much should I put into my emergency fund? The reply varies, but try saving 3 months worth of your salary. So if your salary is 20,000 rupees, then your emergency fund amount will be 20 into 3, that's 60,000 rupees in your emergency fund. Also, when you are saving, one thing that I feel is very important is to give your savings a name and also an end amount. Otherwise, when you keep on saving very vaguely, every month your salary comes and you're just putting away money, you don't know why you're putting your money away, for what purpose you're saving, then sometimes you're not motivated enough and sometimes you will start to take out money from there. So it's better that when you're saving for something, give that savings a name and give it a goal amount. Now, when you do your monthly budget, the second thing that you need to budget for will be your fixed expenses. Those expenses that keep occurring month to month. So if you're staying in a rent, you'll have to pay for your rent, and there is utilities, which are your electric bill, your water bill, your trash bill, and then your gas. There might be some other which I may not have included here, then you can put it here. So you will always need to budget for your utilities as well, because these are things that you will have to pay every month. You cannot escape from these things. The other category is your subscription. It can be for your phone. This is a necessity. You will have to recharge month to month, and then it can be for your internet or for any streaming services that you have. And then the other category can be your transportation. So if you have a vehicle, then you will need to budget for your petrol, and if not, you will have to pay for the public transit. So you need to budget for that as well. And then the other thing will be debt. That can be your student loan or that can be a personal loan that you have. You need to include this in your budget as well. And then you also need to include your insurances. That can be your life insurance or your health insurance, your food and groceries. When I started budgeting, I used to always be confused about how much should I put into my food and groceries categories. But when I looked at my past expenses, when I tracked all my expenses, now I've been able to come up with an amount of 7,000 rupees. For some people, the 7,000 might be too much. It might be, or you're spending so much money on food and groceries. But my family is very big. We are 10 members. So if for 10 members, I only budget 3,000 rupees in food and groceries for a month, that is not going to be a realistic budget. I used to do that. I used to give myself 3,000 or 4,000 rupees, and then I would go over budget every month. So I started looking at the expenses that I had every month, and then I saw that 6,500 was a comfortable amount. So I started giving myself 7,000 rupees, and usually I stay under budget when it comes to food and groceries after I started giving myself 7,000 rupees. You will have to do the work. You have to look at your expenses and decide for yourself how much you want to put into the categories. Your budget amount also depends on your geography, where you stay. I am from Northeast India, so everything is very expensive here, to be very honest. Even the local products that we have are very expensive. So my living expenses is so much more higher. And then the next thing that you need to put into your fixed expenses will be your health. If you go to a gym, that will be your gym membership. If you're somebody with chronic illness, you need to buy medications and everything, then you need to budget for that as well. After the fixed expenses, there will also be some variable expenses that you will get to see in your budget. That will be like buying clothes, your personal care, for your fun. Fun may include your outing or eating out or movies or entertainment. And then if you have a vehicle, for that you will be needing money for your vehicle maintenance as well. And if you have a pet, you will need to budget for your pet as well. If your pet eats pet food, you need to buy pet food, and also you need money for vaccinations, for the vet visits, and also you'll be needing money for gifts. So these are the things that I can think of. There might also be some other things which I have not included here, but what you have to take care is budget for your savings. You should take out some percentage for your savings, and then you have to budget for your fixed expenses, and also you need to budget for your variable expenses. How much you need to put in which of these categories will depend on you. Usually for your fixed expenses, you cannot always cut down the fixed expenses, but for your variable expenses, you can always play around. So I feel like this is a very smart way to save money, where, for example, for pets and for vehicle maintenance, for certain categories which you know is not going to occur month to month, but you know that that expense is going to happen anytime in the future, for things like that, you save up little money every month. For example, we have 4 dogs, and I know that in the month of June, 2 of my dogs need to get vaccinated. So it will cost me 2,000 rupees. If I take out 2,000 rupees from my monthly budget in the month of June to accommodate for the expense, it is going to shake up my monthly budget. So what I do is every month, since I have a pet sinking fund, every month I allocate 500 rupees or 800 rupees according to how much I am able to put into it. So that money gets saved little by little every month, and I don't have to worry about the vaccination expenses because I know that there is money sitting there in my pets category waiting for it to be spent when necessary. If possible, set aside some sinking funds like vehicle maintenance for pets, for things like that if you have a vacation coming up. Now, there are also a few budgeting types that I want to talk about. I have written down 3 of it. So the first one is the 50-30-20 budgeting system. Here what they do is 50% goes into needs, 30% of your income will go into your wants, and 20% will go into your savings and to pay off debt. Your needs can be your rent, your utilities, your healthcare, your food and groceries. Wants will be your non-essential expenses like your entertainment, dining out, and your 20% savings and debt will be your savings goals and your debt payment. I tried budgeting with this method, but it did not work out for me because the income that I was making out of that, if I took out 50%, that was not able to accommodate all my needs category. So I don't follow this method. So the next budget category is the zero-based budget. So here what you do is the budget that you take out for the month, you look at which is more important to you, and according to the priority, and you allocate money into each of the categories. And when you reach the end of your budget, the gifts is the last category, by here the last amount is put here and then the remaining balance will be 0. That is the zero-based budgeting system where every rupee is given a direction. So you know where your money is going. And I did follow the zero-based budgeting system for a very long time. And the third budgeting method is the conscious spending plan method by Ramit Sethi, where he says that 50 to 60% of your income should go into your fixed cost, those expenses that recurs every month, or it also includes your debt. 5 to 10% should go into your savings goals. This can be for your short-term savings, and 10% will go into your investments, and 20 to 35% should go into your guilt-free spending. So this is what I've come up with. I hope I did not confuse you. If there's anything you want to know, you can ask me. I will try to help you. I wanted to make it as structured as it should be. Thank you so much if you're still here watching. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.